In 2022, the average fast food meal in America cost 40% more than it did in 2019. 40%. And yet, if you look at the menu board, the prices don't look that different. A Big Mac that was $3.99 in 2019 was over $5.50 by 2023 in most markets, and in some cities closer to $8. But here's what nobody talks about. The price went up and the portion went down at the same time. You got hit twice, and the second hit was designed to be invisible. By the end of this video, you will never look at a fast food order the same way, because this is not a story about inflation. This is a story about a deliberate corporate strategy with a name, a mechanism, and a paper trail. The official story is simple. Fast food got more expensive because everything got more expensive. Beef prices went up, eggs went up, gas went up, labor got more expensive after the pandemic because workers had more choices. Chains like McDonald's and Wendy's and Taco Bell will tell you they had no choice. Costs went up, so prices had to go up. That is the story they want you to accept. And it is partially true. Input costs did rise sharply between 2020 and 2023. The Bureau of Labor Statistics confirmed that food away from home prices rose faster than at any point in the last 40 years. So yes, costs went up. But that is only half the story, and the other half is the part they never advertise. Here is exactly how this works. When a fast food company faces rising costs, it has three options: raise prices visibly, absorb the loss, or reduce what you get without making it obvious. Option 1 triggers immediate backlash. A meal that jumps from $7 to $9.50 overnight makes headlines and drives customers to competitors. Option 2 kills the stock price, so most chains pick option 3. Economists call it shrinkflation. The company keeps the price the same, or raises it only slightly, while quietly delivering less food. Fewer fries in the carton, a thinner beef patty, less cheese, a shorter bun, a drink cup that looks the same from the outside but holds 2 fewer ounces. Each individual change is small enough that most customers don't notice, but added together, you are paying more for meaningfully less food. This is not a theory. This is a documented pricing strategy used by consumer goods companies for decades. Edgar Dworsky, a consumer advocate who has tracked product sizes since the 1980s, has cataloged hundreds of examples. Charmin reduced its sheet count. Doritos reduced its chip count. Gatorade shrank its bottle from 32 ounces to 28. And in fast food, the same logic applies. It is just harder to measure because there is no nutrition label on a burger wrapper telling you the patty used to weigh more. So who designed this? The decision does not come from one executive in one meeting. It comes from a system. Here is how the system works at a chain like McDonald's or Burger King. Corporate headquarters sets the menu prices and the food cost targets. They tell franchisees, the individual owners who operate most locations, what to charge and roughly what each item should cost to make. When ingredient costs rise, corporate can quietly adjust the recipe specs. Less sauce, slightly smaller patty, fewer toppings. The franchisee does not have much say. They are contractually bound to follow the corporate playbook. And because the change happens at the recipe level, not the menu board level, it never has to be announced. This is where franchise economics make the problem worse. There are roughly 40,000 McDonald's locations worldwide. Only about 5% are owned by McDonald's, the corporation. The other 95% are owned by franchisees who pay royalties, rent, and fees to corporate. When costs go up, franchisees feel it first and hardest, but they cannot raise prices freely. Corporate controls the value messaging. So the pressure to shrink portions flows directly from the franchise model. Corporate protects its brand image. The franchisee absorbs the pain, and the customer absorbs it too, one smaller serving at a time. Now here is the evidence. Food reviewers and regular customers have been documenting this for years. A widely shared comparison from 2021 showed a McDonald's large fries carton that appeared noticeably less full than photos from 2015. Wendy's Frosty portions drew complaints on social media after customers noticed smaller fills at the same price point. Taco Bell quietly removed several items from its menu between 2020 and 2022, not just to simplify operations, but to shift customers toward higher margin items. Burger King's Whopper became the subject of a class action lawsuit filed in 2022, where customers alleged the burger shown in advertising was significantly larger than what was actually served. The lawsuit specifically cited the beef patty appearing to overflow the bun in ads while sitting well within the bun in reality. There is also a psychological mechanism at play. Fast food companies know that consumers are extremely sensitive to the first digit of a price. A meal at $9.99 feels fundamentally different from a meal at $10.49, even though the difference is only 50 cents. So instead of crossing that psychological threshold, companies keep the price at $9.99 and give you less food. Your brain reads the price as stable, your stomach notices something is off, but you probably cannot prove it. What does this cost you in real terms? If you eat fast food twice a week and each meal delivers 15% less food than it did 5 years ago at roughly 30% higher cost, you are spending roughly $400 more per year for fewer calories and less satisfaction. That is not a rounding error. That is a car payment. That is a utility bill. And it compounds across every member of your household. So what can you actually do? First, use the unit price logic you would use at a grocery store. Ask yourself, how much am I paying per ounce, per patty, per item? Second, compare the current item to the advertised image. If the real product looks meaningfully smaller than what is on the menu board, that gap is not an accident, it is a margin strategy. Third, the value menu is often not the value it appears to be. Chains use cheap anchor items to get you in the door, then make their money on drinks, sides, and upgrades. The $1.99 item subsidizes the $4.50 fountain drink. Know the game. And now here is the most infuriating specific detail in this entire story, the one I saved for last. In quarterly earnings calls, fast food executives regularly describe portion and recipe adjustments as operational efficiencies. In plain language, they tell their investors that giving you less food is a feature of their business model. It improves their food cost percentage. It protects their margin. They are proud of it. They just never say it to you. They say it to Wall Street. The customer is never in that room. You are the variable being optimized, and now you know it. If this changed how you see your next drive-through order, follow this channel. We post the real reason behind everyday things every single week.